everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the Houndstooth Beanie. Now this is a pattern that focuses mostly on the color work to create this houndstooth pattern in it. It's a wonderful hat to wear and quite easy to work. It could be reversible. You can see there's a little bit more of the blue coming out on the inside versus the outside here where I have the white. I've worked my hat with a double thick brim, so one that could be folded up for a little bit extra warmth, but you will have the option to do just a single thickness brim or the double. Today for the tutorial you're going to need 2 colors of yarn. Now working this pattern, I find the houndstooth pattern does come out better when it's worked with a dark and light color, but it's really up to you. I will be working with the Color Theory yarn by Lion Brand and 2 of Wands. This is a worsted weight yarn. There's approximately 246 yards per ball. You're going to need 1 ball, which you're only going to use about half of for your color B, and then 1 ball, I'm using this Thunder color, for your color A, and you will use most of this ball of yarn, especially if you're working up that double thick brim. You're also going to need a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook and a copy of the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com, and there'll be a direct link for you in the description of this video. So thank you so much for joining me, and while you're here I invite you to take a look around. There's many other crochet hat patterns. Soon, if not already, there will be a matching cowl pattern to go with my houndstooth beanie, and so you'll definitely want to follow along. Don't forget to subscribe. Now our hat pattern today is worked from the brim up, and the brim is worked in rows while the rest of the hat will be worked in rounds. For our hat today, I'll be working an adult size with a 20 to 22 inch circumference, and I'll give you some direction a little later on how to change the size if necessary. So we're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. Now for the foundation chain for the double thick fold up brim, you're going to chain 26. If you're only working a singular brim, you might want to work something like 13. You'll just want to work less stitches. Once you have your foundation chain worked, you're going to begin row 1 by working a slip stitch into the second chain from your hook, and then slip stitch into each stitch all the way across. If you've been following me for a little while, you know that I love a slip stitch brim, but if you would like, you are welcome to work single crochet stitches or half double crochet stitches to replace these slip stitches. So you're going to work in that second stitch and then in each stitch all the way across. At the end of your row 1, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 2 and every row hereafter in the brim of your hat, you're going to be working in the back loop only. So looking at the top of your stitch, you have a loop that is closest to you. That is your front loop. This loop that is furthest away, that's your back loop. So working in the back loop only of each stitch all the way across, you're going to work a slip stitch or single crochet or half double crochet. It's up to you. You're going to slip stitch in each stitch all the way across, chain 1, turn your work, and repeat. Slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch all the way across. You're going to repeat this until the brim of your hat measures approximately 16 to 17 inches when the fabric is relaxed. It should stretch to fit comfortably around your head, or to have a 20 to 22 inch circumference. Of course, you can change the size, the circumference of your brim by working more or less rows. So simply work to the desired length. Once you have done that, you can meet me back here. Once you have worked your brim to the desired length, this is what it looks like when it's laid flat, 16 to 17 inches. And again, it's going to have a lot of stretch, so it should fit comfortably around the desired circumference. What you're going to do then is you're going to take your two shorter ends and you're going to fold them over so that they meet. You're going to, with your yarn, chain one. You're now going to slip stitch through both thicknesses all the way across in order to crochet the two ends together. So working in that back loop only, insert your hook under the first side, then reach across over to the back loop only of the second side, yarn over, and work a slip stitch. You're going to slip stitch into the back loop only through both thicknesses all the way across. Once you have come all the way across, if you are working the fold up double thick brim, you're going to leave it so that this outside seam is facing. If you are working a single layer brim, you're going to turn it so that your work is right side out. We're now going to work around this rough edge of our brim to work the hat body. For round one, continuing with this color A, we're going to chain one. You're going to work 72 single crochet stitches evenly all the way around. So I am simply inserting my hook where it feels comfortable down into the brim of the hat, and you're going to work 72 single crochet stitches all the way around until you come back to your first stitch. Once you have worked your 72 stitches all the way around, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Continue working in the same direction. You're going to chain one. And for round two, you're going to begin with a single crochet into the same stitches joining. You're then going to work a double crochet into your next stitch. Single crochet into your next stitch and double crochet into your next. You're going to repeat this single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, all the way around until you come back to your first stitch. When you come all the way around, you're going to switch to your color B, and I will show you how I like to change colors in the middle of a project when I come around, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. When you come all the way around at the end of round two, and you have one stitch remaining, this is where I like to join my color B. So to join my color B, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that final stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. Yarn over and pull through two loops. That's all in your color A. You're going to drop your color A, pick up your color B, place it on your hook, and pull through. You can then tighten it a little bit and join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Now for this pattern, we will be changing color after every round. So there's no need to fasten off that color A. You're going to just leave it hanging down on the inside of your work. You're then going to chain 1 and now turn your work. Now working with your color B, you're going to work a single crochet into the top of your first stitch, and the single crochet will be worked into the double crochet stitch. So single crochet into the first stitch, then double crochet into the next stitch, which is your single crochet. Single crochet into the next stitch, and double crochet into the next. You're going to repeat this all the way around, single crochet into your next stitch, and double crochet into your next, always working single crochets into the tops of double crochet stitches and double crochet stitches into the top of single crochet stitches. So repeat this all the way around. When you come around to your first stitch, you're going to switch back to your color A and join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. When you come all the way around at the end of round 3, you're going to work your final double crochet into that final stitch and switch back to your color A. Then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Leave your color B attached, hanging on the inside of your hat. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now for round 4 through to 22, you're going to repeat your rounds 2 and 3. So beginning with your color A, a single crochet into the top of the first double crochet stitch, followed by a double crochet. So repeat your rounds 2 and 3 for rounds 4 through to 22. You will finish off on a repeat of your round 2, and then you can meet me back here. At the end of your round 22, this is what your work is going to look like from the beginning up through to the top. You should have 10 rounds of your color B, so my fisherman white color. You're then going to finish off in a color A round, join with a slip stitch in your first stitch. You can then fasten off your color B. We're all finished working with the color B. For our final rounds, where we're going to close the top of our hat, we're going to be working in our color A only and always in the same direction. So for round 23 with your color A, chain 1, and you're going to work a half double crochet into each of the first 6 stitches. You're then going to work a half double crochet 2 stitches together. To work your half double crochet 2 together, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and drop a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and drop a loop, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. That's your half double crochet 2 stitches together. You're then going to work a half double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. And a half double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, half double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches, followed by a half double crochet, 2 stitches together until you come to your first stitch, and you'll join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of round 23, you'll have a total of 63 stitches. You're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Do not turn your work. You're going to chain 1. For round 24, you're going to work a half double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And then half double crochet, 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat this all the way around, half double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And half double crochet, 2 stitches together. Repeat this all the way around until you come to your first stitch. Join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of round 24, you'll have a total of 54 stitches. You're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch. For round 25, we're going to chain 1, continue working in the same direction, work a half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And then half double crochet, 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And half double crochet, 2 stitches together. All the way around until you come to your first stitch. Join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of round 25, you'll have a total of 45 stitches. Join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. For round 26, chain 1 and half double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. You're then going to work a half double crochet, 2 stitches together. Half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And half double crochet, 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, followed by a half double crochet, 2 stitches together until you come to that first stitch. When you come to the first stitch, join with a slip stitch into the top and chain 1. At the end of your round 26, you're going to have a total of 36 stitches. You've chained 1. For round 27, we're going to work a half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches, and then half double crochet, 2 stitches together. Half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and half double crochet, 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet, 2 stitches together until you come to your first stitch. When you come to the first stitch, you can join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. At the end of round 27, you'll have a total of 27 stitches. You're going to chain 1. For round 28, you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, or into the first stitch, and then half double crochet 2 stitches together over the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet into your next stitch, and then half double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, half double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet 2 stitches together, all the way around until you come to that first stitch. When you come to the first stitch, you can join with a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. At the end of this round 28, you are going to have a total of 18 stitches. You're then going to chain 1, and for round 29, half double crochet 2 stitches together in each stitch all the way around. At the end of this round, you're going to have a total of 9 stitches. You can join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You're then going to fasten off, leaving a little bit of a long tail. You're then going to take a yarn needle and thread it through the end of your long tail, and you're going to use the long tail to sew the top of your hat closed. So for this part, I do like to just turn my hat inside out for a few moments. Take that needle and long tail and just thread it in and out through the tops of the stitches of that final round. You can then simply pull it closed, secure the top, and then tuck in your ends. You can then once again turn your hat back right side out. You can then add a pom-pom to the top if you wish, but fold up your thick brim, and that is your houndstooth beanie. So thank you so much for joining me, and once again I invite you to subscribe, take a look around, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, happy crocheting. Bye.